Hi everybody, Mark Lawrence once again for the college football videos with my top tips and observations on the Week 7 football card this weekend. And what I've learned thus far this football season is that the BCS polls are out on Sunday. The race for number 1 is on, Alabama the clear choice for the top team in the land. But the run for number 2 will be hot and heated, with Oregon, Florida, and Notre Dame all vying for the number 2 slot. Keep an eye out for the Fighting Irish in the weeks ahead. What I've also learned is that the Heisman Trophy race is now in full force. West Virginia's Geno Smith, obviously the hands-down choice to date for the Heisman Trophy winner. But keep an eye on Southern Cal's Matt Barkley, who started slow this football season. He's got 3 cupcakes on deck in his next 3 football games, all defenseless teams. Look for Barkley to put up big numbers in the next 3 weeks. What I've also learned this football season is that the Big Ten beatdown continues. For the first time ever in the history of the Coaches Poll USA Today polls, no Big Ten team is found in the polls. That's because Ohio State, undefeated, is ineligible because of NCAA sanctions. But the bottom line, the Big Ten is down big time this football season. Moving on to my top tips on the football card this Saturday. Tip number 1, there's a bubble burst warning in effect. And by that, I mean that college football teams who start out 5-0 or better, then lose their first football game as a favorite, bounce big time in the next game. 2 teams in letdown roles this Saturday play against Florida State and against LSU. Tip number 2 on the football card Saturday is there were 6 touchdown underdog winners last week, dogs of 7 or more points that pulled upsets. These teams tend to bounce back to reality the next week. The worst of all roles is when they go out as road favorites. We'll find West Virginia in that road favorite role this week when they take on Texas Tech. Keep an eye on the Red Raiders on Saturday. Tip number 3 is there were also 6 teams in college football last Saturday that won games inside out, won the game but lost by over 100 yards on the playing field. These teams also tend to bounce back the next week. At the top of the list Saturday, Boise State wins their game last week, loses by 100 yards because of 5 turnovers going their way. They host Fresno State. The Bulldogs are a vastly improved football team this year. The Bulldogs of Fresno State have upset on their minds this Saturday. That's been my college football observations and top tips on the football card for this week. If you haven't done so yet, download your copy now of the Playbook Football Newsletter from the website at playbook.com and make plans to join me Saturday for my college football underdog game of the month. It couldn't come at a better time. We're on the heels of our college football false favorite game of the month winner last Saturday when Florida flattened LSU. 2 weeks ago, it was our 5-star college football game of the month winner. We were 8-2 on our phone service last weekend. Join me now for a $99 weekend of winners, including my college football underdog game of the month. Do it now online at playbook.com or call me toll-free to get on board at 1-800-321-7777. You'll be glad you did. For the football videos, this is Mark Lawrence reminding you to always remember to bet with your head, not over it, and good luck as always.